Morning, Shane. How are you?
Any closer to getting that school?
We're basically, well, we're not going away anyway. Certainly not. Well, no, not really.
What did they just remind us?
Lobbying away, campaigning away.
Can you just remind us, Elizabeth, when the general election was on in February, wasn't it?
Yes.
Can you just remind us of what the politicians said to you at the time? Some who are elected now, what were they promising you?
That it was their priority. That they recognised, for all three that are elected now, it was their main priority. They were supportive of us, and they saw the need for a new second level school in Kildare and South Kildare, and that they'll do whatever they can to get that to happen.
And since the election, what have they said?
Again, their support is continuing. We've had meetings with the Minister. That's thanks to Martin Hayden, Fine Gael. He's facilitated meetings. We've met with members of the Oireachtas Education Committee, who Fiona O'Loughlin of Fianna Fáil is the chair of. Fiona has accommodated meetings with us, with Thomas Byrne, who's the spokesman for education in Fianna Fáil. We've met with other parties, Carol Nolan of Sinn Féin, who sits on the Education Committee. Joan Burton we've met with, thanks to Mark Wall, Councillor Mark Wall in Athy. So, we are exhausting every avenue to get, to highlight the situation and to try and convince Minister Bruton and the Department of Education that a school is needed.
Right. So all the politicians across the parties agree that you need another secondary school in South Kildare, somewhere like Kildare Town or Newbridge?
Yes, that's where the main area of pressure is and demand is.
Right.
So,
what's the latest revelation from the Department of Education about what they're giving to different areas?
Well, in October, Deputy Fiona O'Loughlin posed a Dáil question to the Minister specifically with regard to ASD provision at second level. And,
ASD, what is ASD, Elizabeth?
Oh, pardon me, autism spectrum disorder.
Right.
And she looked for what the level of provision was at second level in the area. And subsequently, in his reply, he actually didn't answer the question that Deputy O'Loughlin was asking of him. But subsequently, Deputy O'Loughlin was actually able to obtain that information for us. And we found out that through that query that no additional ASD class provision at second level will be given to Newbridge or Kildare Town.
Where will they be going to? Will they be going to Kildare?
Going to St Farnham's and Prosperous. 2 classes for St Farnham's and Prosperous. 2 for Art School Trinidad in Athy. 2 for Athy Community College, and 2 for Cross and Passion College in Kilcullen.
But none for
any school in Newbridge or Kildare Town, and that includes the Curragh.
Right. Now, is there panic setting in among parents? Because I've interviewed parents on the show before who at that time were worried, well, where will my child go when the time comes to go to secondary school? Is there panic setting in now?
There is, a definite worry and concern there. It's not reasonable for any child to have to travel for a place, let alone an ASD place, out of familiar surroundings for a child, who has special needs. It's not right. It shouldn't be happening. But yeah, there is panic. There's worry and panic for children who just need to get a place anyway.
Mm-hmm.
There is this issue affects all families, regardless of their background. Kids are just not getting places, and more worryingly, kids who need an ASD place just don't know where. They don't know where they're going at primary level. Children in Newbridge and Kildare Town aren't getting places at primary level.
But
they're scrambling around in August, and they're, we've seen, the couple of cases last year for the start of this year. You know, mothers in Newbridge just not being able to get a place for their child at primary level. You know, and like they're quite well catered for. Despite, you know, scrambling for places, children are quite well catered for at ASD class level in primary level.
Right, but apart from the children who have autism or ASD, apart from those children, is there not a tightening of availability of spaces for all children going to secondary school in South Kildare?
Absolutely, yeah. There is a squeeze at the minute, you know. 2018 is going to be quite a huge push on demand. You know, there's quite a bubble. That's where the bubble where we foresee in the campaign as the bubble bursting in 2018.
Right.
You know, there's just not enough places. There was a slight dip this year. For whatever, I don't know what happened in 2004, 2005, but there weren't as many babies being born. But literally,
we were too busy partying with the Celtic Tiger, I think. Can I ask you, Elizabeth? Time is getting away from me, but why is your campaign so specific in calling for a secondary school that's Educate Together? If there's such a demand for a secondary school, can it not be any sort of secondary school?
Oh, it can be. Anyone can campaign for a new second level school.
But yours is called the South Kildare Educate Together second level. So why are you so insistent that it should be an Educate Together school?
Well, I suppose it offers more choice. It's truly multi-denominational. It's the approach to learning. It's the approach to education, how children learn. It's not teaching to the test. There's more. There's equality. There's children allowed being on boards of management. Students are allowed to partake in boards of management. There's more the diversity. There's more equality for children. And there are two Educate Togethers between Newbridge and Kildare Town, two Educate Together primary schools. So, the demand is there. Parents are choosing that model of education for their children. Mm-hmm. And, I suppose that's why we campaign for that. But, it offers parents of children who may not go to an Educate Together school that they may have said, God, that would have been nice to go to at primary level, but they chose another type of school. They might say, well, I want them to go to a co-ed school, and there's single-sex schools in Newbridge, but it just offers another choice, basically, all right. Another choice.
Okay, well, all we can do as a radio station is highlight campaigns that are going on around the county, and that's one of them, which is the campaign for an Educate Together second-level school for South Kildare. Elizabeth Bartholomew, thank